2,000 years ago, the ancient city of Rome was the capital of a great and mighty empire, which gave to the Western world its laws, its government, and its culture. Today, within Rome's limits is an independent state, Vatican City, the physical capital of a great spiritual empire, whose followers of every race and nationality share a common faith, the belief in one God, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. To the Church of Rome's 330 million communicants, one man is supreme as their infallible spiritual ruler, His Holiness Pius XII, Pope of Rome and Vicar of Christ on earth. And in the war world of today, to millions of others, Pius XII is a leader in the struggle of the God-fearing against the forces of the godless. For at one of the darkest periods in the world's history, 63-year-old Eugenio, Cardinal Pacelli, ascending the throne of St. Peter, pledged himself in the name of the pontiff before him to carry on his crusade to seek peace and goodwill for all mankind. Ceaselessly since the outbreak of war, the Roman pontiff has been praying and working in the cause of a righteous peace. In the printed word of every known language, Pius XII has been militant against what in his eyes seem the greatest enemies of Christianity, communism and Nazism. Today, one of the most widely read newspapers in all Europe is the Vatican's official organ, the daily Osservatore Romano, whose editor, Count Giuseppe della Torre, faithfully reflects the pontiff's views. The powerful Vatican City shortwave radio, gift of the late great inventor Marconi, carries the messages of the church abroad into millions of homes in lands where church and churchmen are all but outlawed.
Cardinal Halon, Primate of Poland, who escaped to Rome, has reported to Pope Pius XII about conditions in his stricken country. His Eminence states, quote, "In Poland, destitution and destruction are not confined to that part of the country under Russian occupation. Even more terrible are conditions in the part of Poland that has fallen to German administration. The Polish people, Catholics and Jews alike, face starvation."
Behind the medieval walls which surround the Vatican, built in the 9th century for protection against Saracen invaders, is a completely independent state, barely 1/6 of a mile from end to end. Since the 14th century, it has been the home of the popes of Rome, and to the Roman Church, the center of all Christendom. For nearly 60 years, from 1870, when the old papal state was absorbed into the new kingdom of Italy, no pope set foot outside the Vatican walls. But in 1929, the Lateran Treaty restored the Vatican's autonomy. And though but a fraction of its former size, it again enjoyed its own government and had its own access to the outside world. Since 1929, the 1,000 inhabitants of Vatican City have been citizens not of Italy, but of the papal state. Highest lay authority in the Vatican State is its governor, Marquis Camillo Serafini, who is responsible to the Pope for the administration of all civil affairs. Vatican City has its own currency, lire, which are minted chiefly as commemorative pieces. Desire to be received in public audience by His Holiness and to carry away with them His apostolic blessing. Outside the Vatican limits is the oldest Christian church in Europe, the Church of St. John Lateran. Called the mother of all churches, it is by tradition the seat of the popes as bishops of Rome. Nowhere in the world is there a city so steeped in the influence of the church and its teachings. In residence at the North American College are more than 200 seminarians from nearly every diocese in the United States. Militant in the army of the Church of Rome are the monastic orders, from which for centuries have come the teachers and missionaries who have spread and are still spreading the doctrines of their faith. Most famous of theological seminaries is the Gregorian University, maintained at Rome by the Society of Jesus. Today, the Jesuits number more than 26,000 ordained priests who have met the rigid intellectual and spiritual requirements of an order whose members are subject to the strictest military discipline. Famed for their zeal and learning, Jesuits have played many a major role in church history. Number one Jesuit today is the amiable Father General, Vladimir Ledachowski,